Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining our new edition of the JDE AdWords Talks. I'm very honored to have such guests with me today, Mario, Salvador, and AJ. I'll shortly introduce them to you, but just to first and foremost, a hand of applause for everyone who is joining us today to hear about what's happening in Blueprint 4D, a kind of JDE AdWords preview from our dear Oracle friend AJ, and to meet Q, to meet our new JDE AdWords AI robot. So not to get this. Just to get this going, I'm proud to be today here. Andrea Estrada is my name. I represent Quistor, and JDE AdWords Talk has started 15 editions ago, believe it or not, and we've had a numerous participation from around the world. So I'm trying to keep this memorable each time. If you want to inspire us, don't stay back. Give us some themes, give us some interesting areas, and we'll try to promote this and to make them live in our JDE AdWords Talks. So AJ, I find AJ a very interesting person. I find AJ an actor, a JDE AdWords actor, JDE AdWords experience. Whenever I see AJ on the stage, I get inspired, and I always tend to get also customers super close to what he's presenting, to what he's showing as new in JDE AdWords, and not just in the enterprise automation area, his expertise. But yeah, welcome AJ to our show, the JDE showman, I would say.
Thank you, Andrea. You're very kind.
And as well, two colleagues of mine, one from Mexico, another one from Colombia, but in Spain at this moment. So Salvador and Mario, they are a true daily inspiration for me when it comes to what JDE AdWords can actually do. We've seen Salvador playing with the Lego boat at InFocus, putting it on fire, putting it in the wind, blowing it, and having a JDE AdWords to do a maintenance order or create something, instigate via the sensors something to happen in JDE AdWords. So they didn't stay put. They thought, what else can we do? And we started building a robot, actually, which we are going to show you later on today. So thank you, Salvador, for your inspiration, Mario, for your motivation, for staying up at night and making it happen in JDE AdWords.
Thank you, Andrea.
That's great.
So I suggest before we start this, to see what's it all about in Blueprint and what JDE AdWords will bring new to the table this year, I'd like to see from you guys, what's your JDE AdWords version? Where are you exactly? Maybe we'll get onto a poll just so that we vote and see areas. Okay, we are either on release 25, hopefully, or we are on 24. So I'll have a poll running right now. If you can access the poll area down below, you would see that there are 4 options here. On release 25, just upgraded, yeah. Release 24, older 9.2 version, or still on 9.1. And you need to take a decision. So if you'd like to submit your vote, that would be very interesting to see. So again, click on the poll area, which is on the right side below the screen, if you see it.
In 3 dots, if you can find it, you can see in 3 dots below at the right, and you can find the polls. That is already people start to vote. That is 7 votes already.
Okay. So, Luisa, can we publish them to see where we are? I have a marketing guru just behind the screen trying to let us know what exactly are the answers to this question.
I just see is in this moment we have 8 votes. The 5% is in release 24.
Okay.
And the 25 is in release 25, just upgraded.
Okay.
And in the older version of 9.2 is the 22% for now. There is so many people on release 24. That is very good.
Amazing. So you see, AJ customers are keeping current. Okay, that's good news, right? For everything that you're about to show them. Yeah.
That is great. We have already 9 votes. Let's say give another minute to everyone participate, please. The good news is no one is still on 9.1.
Yay.
Everyone is in 9.2 or above. That is great.
That's really good news. So let's not waste any moment. I would say let's go to AJ and let's see what exactly is new. What exactly is Blueprint 4D showing us on JD Edwards? I will be amazed, I'm sure, in a couple of weeks in Las Vegas. But before going there, I'd like to show to European customers and not only what will happen.
Oh, so you're saying, Andrea, that we want to talk about for all the people that are current on release 24, why they're already behind? Because we have more new stuff.
I like that. You
to be
still
honest,
announced release 26.
we are already looking at release
You
26.
see?
So yeah, hopefully this is exciting and not frustrating as we see the software move forward. And it's not just about the software, right? That's why we're doing this, right? That's why we have JDE Talks, and that's why we have Blueprint, because we know that the cycle of interaction between the JD Edwards development team, whom I represent proudly, and the customer base and our partners, the ecosystem, it's a continuous circle. And it's not just about the software that we're running, it's about solving business problems, right? And us listening to customers, finding out what's going on in the world, finding out what the business problems are, listening to your enhancement requests, listening to the latest technology advancements, whether it's cloud or artificial intelligence or a better way to build applications with low code, no code. Hopefully that's what you're going to see the JD Edwards development team putting into the product. But that's also why it's so important to engage in these social interactions, in JDE Talks, in our Quest events. We thank our partner, the Quest Oracle community, for putting these conferences on. Blueprint happens in the spring in the Northern Hemisphere, and In Focus happens about 6 months later. And so we have this continuous cycle of meeting with customers, listening to requirements, putting those enhancements into the product. And then it's my job and my pleasure to report them back out to the customers and see what have we done in the last 6 months to 12 months. So I'd like to take a few minutes. Thank you for the invitation, Andrea, to say, show you what's going to be happening at Blueprint this year in just a short 3 weeks away. So
Yeah.
You want to move to the next slide? Are you going to drive the slides?
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Let's do this.
Yeah, that'll be fine. There's just a few. Yeah. So yes, we're getting ready in 3 weeks to go to the Blueprint 4D conference in June 9th through the 13th. It's in Las Vegas, so hopefully you'll be able to attend. Here's a sneak peek. The Blueprint conference tends to be more strategic, and our JD Edwards executive team will be there. Gary Graysaber and Paul Hout-Cooper are our vice presidents in charge of the product, and they'll be giving strategy keynotes. If you want to hear where the JD Edwards project is going and how they're leading our team, this is the place to do it. Paul Hout-Cooper and John Green, my boss, who's director of product management, will be talking about release 25 and beyond. Yes, as Andrea said, there is a release 26 being planned. So if you want deeper dive into that roadmap and where the product is going, and more importantly, how to influence where the product is going. John and Paul will be doing that. Gary and Paul will be giving another keynote to an executive forum audience. So for if you're a senior executive, you have the opportunity to meet in that program. And then Gary Grishaber has the honor of actually giving Oracle's cloud ERP finance strategy to the community. It's not just the JD Edwards conference. The Oracle Cloud people will have their track, and the PeopleSoft customer base will have their track. So a lot of strategy things going on. That's a good reason to attend Blueprint, because it tends to be more strategic. There are education sessions, 140 sessions that, by my count, just dedicated to the JD Edwards product. And this is exciting for me to watch, because these are customers and partners and the JD Edwards development team ourselves talking about specific topics. 140 sessions over 4 days. That's a busy time. And 36 of those sessions are from our JD Edwards development team. We come out in force, we talk about what we've developed, we listen to what you need, and the partners are going to be delivering 3 hands-on workshops. So if you do want to sit down and get some hands-on training, that's available as well. But it's not all about just sitting in sessions and watching demos and PowerPoints. There's so many networking opportunities. There's the special interest groups. There's 10 of those in the Quest community. I like to interact with the user-defined object, the UDO SIG, the business analyst SIG, the JD Edwards Tech SIG. That's usually where you'll find me hanging out. But financials and manufacturing all have their own special interest groups. So whatever you need, this is the place to interact with your special community. Of course, you've got up. Oh.
Is there an JD AI special group?
There is not. There is not. But there's always room to create one. So yeah, that's an interesting idea. Yeah. And opportunities to meet one-on-one, with the JD Edwards team. So.
And in these opportunities, AJs, I would like to emphasize how strong the customer opinions are, because I was sitting, I remember at the end of 2023 with Gary and one of our customers saying that we really need a single sign-on solution. We really need to have JD Edwards interacting with all our application and not be just separated, or not ourselves trying to find a solution on how we can do that. We need something native. And in 6 months, it becomes as an update in release 24. So I was literally amazed on how fast this customer responsiveness to what the product may need as an improvement can be from your end. So bravo to you, the JD development team.
Well, I can't promise that they're all going to be completed in 6 months. Don't put the pressure on me, Andrea. But yes, we absolutely listen, and these conferences are a great place to do it. Yeah. And don't forget the partner exhibitors. Quistar is going to be there, right? Q is going to be there. Yeah. Great reasons to go. All right, let's move on, because we do want to see Q. Yeah. I took a look at the agenda, right, and all those 140 sessions, and I stepped back and I did some counting, and as I guess there's no surprise, artificial intelligence is a hot topic, right? There are 21 sessions about artificial intelligence during that week, crammed into 4 days again. So it's going to be a busy time. Also 17 just on JD Edwards updates and system administration and security. So if you're a geek, if you're a JD Edwards system administrator, there's plenty of content there. And of course, conference after conference, year after year, Orchestrator is still a hot topic. 16 sessions crammed into 4 days, and cloud too. So those are the major themes by the partners and the customers and our own team that are putting on sessions. The focus of the JD Edwards team, right? We get together and say, what do we want to push at Blueprint 4D? And guess what? They overlap pretty well. There are going to be several sessions on JD Edwards running on cloud, JD Edwards running with other Oracle Cloud applications, JD Edwards customers migrating to cloud solutions, So yeah, JD Edwards with cloud is a very important topic for us to cover. We've got a new sustainability framework. I don't know if you heard about it. Sustainability is huge, right? Around the globe, customers are saying, how do we use JD Edwards to collect sustainability data and then report it back out? And so it's already generally available, but we continue to build that solution out. There will be enhancements there, and we'll be talking about our sustainability solution.
I think we already built like a pilot to gather multiple types of customers from different industries to share back messages to the development team, to the development team of the sustainability framework. And what I found interesting is that it's not release dependent, so you can already look at it and try to integrate it in your existing JD Edwards ecosystem on a functional area, right? Without being dependent on what tools release you are on. Of course, you need to keep current. We continuously say that. But if this is like a pain right now, a real stringent pain for our customers, we tend to make them adopt it immediately.
Exactly. Because it's an immediate need. Yeah. Sometimes it's government driven, or sometimes it's just a good idea. Yeah, but it's available.
Yeah.
And of course, in my area, I'm the product manager responsible for the JD Edwards digital platform, which is all that technical magic that happens right in between the applications and the servers. It's orchestrator, workflow, all the user experience. Our emphasis has been, hopefully this is not the first time you're hearing this word, right? Enterprise automation. This is the general idea that we've been collecting a lot of good data in the JD Edwards system for years, sometimes decades. You know how much data you have in your JD Edwards system. And now what we're trying to do is make better use of that data by extracting metrics and KPIs, getting information out of there, but putting it in the context of a business process and being able to build process models. So enterprise automation is an initiative we've been working on for about 2 years now. And I'm proud to say there's quite a bit of functionality in there. So we'll be talking about that. And then, I went back and looked, there are 40 or more application enhancements that have been put into the software across all areas, financials, manufacturing. And so hopefully you'll be able to go and meet with the product management teams and look at those enhancements. So certainly we will be emphasizing all the product enhancements in release 25. Thank you for the poll. Thank you for all of you that are on release 24.
Yeah.
So there's more good stuff to come. So hopefully you're finding it easier and easier to get on a continuous update path. Let's go on.
Great. Your bread and butter now.
No, I better. So thank you for asking me specifically what's important to AJ, right? If AJ is going to come, what is AJ excited about? Yeah, and AJ is excited about enterprise automation and the progress that we've made. The focus really is on these these process models, as I said. And we've given you 2 ways to build these process models. One is simply using Enterprise One pages as a canvas, as an art frame, and to be able to build these process models. Well, we've done it for you. There are pre-built process models for order to cash, procure to pay. There's a brand new one in the manufacturing area for production to order. And we also shipped one for shipment to dispatch. You can download these from the JD Edwards Update Center and get going right away. They're Enterprise One pages, built with tiles and links to applications. There are many one watch lists, one view watch lists. And we use those as the metrics to go and gather data. So pretty useful in that context. The other thing we're very proud of, though, and this came out with just in release 25, so it's about 6 months old now, this enterprise process modeler. And instead of building process models manually, this enterprise process modeler can look into your JD Edwards data and ingest data from your tables and automatically build a process model based on the order activity rules it sees. And we've done this for 2 areas so far: order to cash and procure to pay, right? And so this tool can look into the order activity rules that you have set up for order to cash and procure to pay and automatically draw the process model that you're seeing there. And again, a bunch of metrics about how many orders are open at each status. What is the total of orders at this status? How many orders are set to go from one status to another? And also a bunch of KPIs, analytic charts that you can see there on the right in the enterprise process model. All this is pre-built, and we have templates set up for order to cash and procure to pay. We're very interested in what this data looks like as customers bounce it against theirs. Of course, we have demo data and test data in our JD Edwards development systems, but it means nothing, right? What we're really eager to see is how this data looks against customers' actual production. And it's very easy to do, very easy to set up. So we're actually soliciting for customers that want to be early adopters of this. Just contact me and we'll help you through some demos. And we're really interested to see what this data looks like in your system.
I think that with Salvador and Mario here, you have like the best pioneers to start this rolling into our customers, because I see this as a combination of what we're trying to achieve to improve the user experience overall. So we are trying to introduce bot agents, now robots that need to interact with JD Edwards, but in the back end, also JD Edwards need to make this process super autonomous so that it reverts back like magic to the end user. So we should combine efforts, I would say.
I would hope so. And we prefer to use the word software or technology, but if it looks like magic, then that's fun. That's cool. Yes. So it is a bit of magic, and for what it reveals. As a matter of fact, you say the word magic, right? But I like to think of it as pulling a rabbit out of a hat, right? Okay. And there should be surprises when you use these enterprise automation tools. Right? You think you know your business. I'm sure you know your business. There are problems or bottlenecks or opportunities in your business process. Some of those maybe bother you, right? Because you know it's a problem and you would like to improve it. But we think that there are also hidden surprises in your JD Edwards data. And once we are able to point these tools at them and reveal insights about that, we think there are going to be surprises. We think they're going to be rabbits pulled out of the hat. So we'll see there. And I have to say, I'm very excited about this enhancement. It's only about 1 month old. It came out in our spring update to release 25. Widgets. I have a special feeling about this enhancement. And it's pretty simple. It goes like this. You probably already understand OneView watch lists, right? A OneView watch list, very simple to create. You do a query over a grid. That query results in some number of rows in the grid returned, right? So maybe it's 100 rows, and that 100 shows up as a badge on the Enterprise One user interface. That's a great concept. But what if the number in that badge could be generated by an orchestration? Now we get Salvador and Mario smiling a little bit. Oh, we know how to build orchestrations that can generate data. Wouldn't it be great if that number could be in that badge? So you see that in the bottom there, 1.9 B for billion. That's not something that a watch list can do today, but an orchestration can generate that number. Well, wait, what if the output of the orchestration wasn't even a number? What if it was a piece of text, like the most ordered item this month was diesel fuel, right? Well, a watch list can't do that, but a widget can. Well, wait a minute. Why does the visualization just have to be a badge? why can't we make the visualization a pie chart or a bar chart or a meter or even a text box? Because an orchestration can generate text as output. Well, now this gets very exciting, and I'm so excited to show this off in the live demo. So we have a complete session about this at Blueprint, and if you haven't seen widgets yet, go and check them out. I think it's going to be exciting.
Or you may come around for another edition in autumn time and you show us live here if that's an interesting subject, because I already see it connected to a lot of topics we are developing right now for our customers. And what I also would like to mention, that great ideas actually happened because we got customers' feedback. So in chats, in this JD Edwards talks, we understood which are most relevant areas to build AI agents to communicate, users to communicate with JD Edwards. Now we link them to widgets, it becomes wow, even a much valuable exercise to actually propose to customers for the business.
Yeah, I can't wait to put my hands on that. I only need to upgrade to have the widgets and put myself on it.
Yeah, you did the
Because
latest
it's
update.
very exciting. Yeah, we need the latest to
Latest
release.
update. Yeah.
Yeah, we are just behind, just one step behind. I need to tell to the team, hey, I need widgets, please upgrade. There is a little bit work, and maybe the results with the widgets was very great.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Yep. All you need is the latest tools release and
Yeah.
that tools roll up ESU, and yeah, you'll have widgets.
Yeah, I guess we are very close to install that, but we need to a little push.
Yeah. Now we have the business
To have it.
reasons. So people here in our JD Edwards talk, if you have any questions to AJ about widgets, enterprise automation, or any JD Edwards related topic, you can use either the chat or the questionnaire. Don't stay behind, or even make an affirmation. Give us a confirmation on where your business may use such wonderful tools, and we will try to build that use case that is will be efficient for you. So what more?
Let's move on. Yeah.
What more?
Well, also interesting to me because I'm the product manager of Orchestrator, and I said, year after year we do Orchestrator updates. Well, we're not going to go through all of these, but a very popular session is the Orchestrator product updates from engineering. Every conference we do this one, and looking backwards in the last 4 quarters, it's amazing to think. In July, Orchestrator will be 10 years old.
Already?
Did you realize that? Yes, it will be 10 years since we released Orchestrator, and yet still we have this many enhancements in the last year to go over. So thank you for your use of Orchestrator. I'm happy it's so important. Thank you for your continued input. But yeah, it still feels new. We're not going to go through all of these, and we have a bunch of planned enhancements as well. So plenty of content for Orchestrator. As a matter of fact,
it's the best one here. What's the most interesting thing?
oh,
a new development.
this
There
is
is
like
so many.
asking, which of my children do I like the best?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hard one. The file discovery for FTP connectors. People have been trying to use Orchestrator to automate file management, and one complaint was we have an FTP folder, but we don't know what files are in there. It's hard to automate files unless we can query the FTP folder and see it. That one seems like a small enhancement, but hopefully it's going to open up opportunities for more file automation. The stateful orchestrations in release 24, the 8293 there at the bottom left, typically the orchestrations were just REST APIs that were stateless. But stateful means you can stop an orchestration in the middle,
In the middle.
have something happen, have a user do something, or you can wait for a third-party system to do something, and then the orchestration can restart and pick up where it left off in the middle. That one is Mario, you got some ideas on that one?
Yeah, of course. I just doing a workshop last week and put that together, and that's great. You can pause in the middle. In that example, we read a little resistance, and when the orchestrator is running, you need to put an image inside of a media object. Then they pause to wait to you put the image inside the media object, and later on, when you start again, he look the media object, look the image. If the image is there, then he go to the end. If not, he put another notification and wait again for the image. Put, all right, I need an image to do that. Then give me the image, and you can go further. You can end the orchestrator. If you don't, the while is put another pause. You put another notification and pause again. That is very great example to do that.
Brilliant. Yes, that's a great example. Yeah, because
And
it's
also,
interactive. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and also I put another thing inside the update, the possibility of getting arrays inside of logic extensions. That was in release 24 also, and that for me was great, because we always needed a Groovy to do that, and
Yeah.
we do that. When you put that inside of the logic extension, everything comes easy to me. That is a great the great update in there.
So if you ask Mario, he'll never stop talking about this, because last week he attended in Madrid a workshop with the Apps Unlimited team here in Europe. So, and I say, okay, wherever things like this happen, we need to help our customers get closer to Oracle and to the tool. And Mario said, okay, I'll do half of it. I'll help Oracle. And now, wonderful ideas come to life. We have one question from Kieran. Though, so I think this is related to the widget, and he's asking if it needs to be configured based on a custom setup. If you need more around this, Anthony, AJ, to answer Kieran's question, let me know.
Yeah, actually, Kieran, yeah, drop it in the chat. Were you referring maybe to the enterprise process modeler? And will the modeler read customers' custom setup? Right. So I think that's maybe what is, yeah. Yes, yeah, the modeler. Yeah. Yeah, that's the exciting piece, is the modeler will look at customers' data, and if it's customized, it's going to look at the customer tables and pull that data out. So if you're interested, give me send me an email, and we'll get you started on that.
Yeah, I'll connect you to on this. So great stuff.
Yeah. Now, since you asked the favorite, I have to, while we're on this slide, I have to highlight one more, because all these enhancements sort of look the same because they're in the same type and font and everything. But in the release 24, there in the upper left, right in the middle, there is authentication for Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Services. It seems like such a simple little thing. Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, OCI, offers hundreds and hundreds of cloud services, many of which are AI services. This is where Oracle is offering all of its AI services. But there's lots of other services as well, the file management and you name it. There are hundreds of cloud services out there. Well, OCI has its own authentication mechanism. When you interact with these services, you have to do it securely. So we did an enhancement to Orchestrator to be able to use the OCI authentication mechanism. That one simple enhancement means that you can now write orchestrations that invoke and use the OCI services. And now it's like a playground. There are hundreds of OCI services, and you can put them in your orchestrations. So that is a very significant enhancement.
And you know what? I was just discussing with the team what is the next session to consider. And one of the next sessions, not one in June, but right after, we will have like an OCI AI catalog for an OCI services catalog for JD Edwards that could be enabled directly through this, as you said, the authentication in OCI. So it's wonderful to see it on the same screen and say, okay, what do I need to do now? Connect what we got. And it's Oracle Integrations Cloud. It's a lot of things that could be enhanced through this authentication. So yeah, great.
Well, let's move on because you want to see Q,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think we do. So a little bit off track here, but always nice to have this conversation. That's a talk.
And here, I mean, the digital platform is broader than Orchestrator itself, right? We've got lots of other things going in the broader JD Edwards digital platform. So we're adding this session to Blueprint this year. We're going to do the same thing, the digital platform product updates from engineering. And we're going to have our engineering team brag about all of these recent and planned enhancements to other areas of the digital platform. So that will be a Blueprint session. We don't have to go through all of these, but there's more good stuff, things that customers have asked for directly.
Okay.
If you can't go to Blueprint and you want to look at all of these enhancements, right? Go to Learn JDE. There are the announcements. We come out quarter by quarter by quarter. April 2025 was the most recent one, which makes you think, oh, what comes after April? Question mark, question mark. And in fact, we've got 30 application enhancements and another 20 or so in the digital platform and system administration area. So yes, if you think you're all up to date because you just upgraded, you're already behind again. We'll keep the product moving forward. And why will we keep the product moving forward? Next slide.
Yeah.
Because we promised we would.
Yes. And it's a promise that you keep on hanging to for the last, I've been in Oracle 17 years. You always kept renewing this promise. And now, as I'm with Quistor, you do this continuously, over and over each year. So bravo.
It is fun, and exciting. So if you want to stay connected, hopefully, this podcast, have you heard about it? Paul Hout-Cooper and Chandra Wabchal do this. They're already up to, I can't remember. Is it 50 episodes?
50 something episodes.
50 something, yeah. And they're going to be doing a live recording at Blueprint. So that should be fun to see what they have.
I'm hoping actually we're gonna speak with Paul will ask our Q some questions, our robot some questions live there, and I'm hoping that will get into a podcast to be
Q on the podcast. That's a great idea. So if you can't attend, right? Hopefully, maybe you can make a plan to come next time. The In Focus in September is in Denver, my hometown. So I will plan to be there. But if you can't attend and you want to know how to get to these recordings, the Quest community will publish these. They have amassed so many recorded sessions on their website. There's so much good stuff there. Certainly not just from the JD Edwards team. I get excited about customer and partner presentations that are also recorded there because that's the real stuff. There's content about Blueprint 4D in Focus. They do a virtual conference called JD Edwards Week. The special interest groups have meetings and they record their meetings. There's some good organic chat there and a lot of material on Oracle Cloud. It's not just JD Edwards. So if you want to learn about Oracle Cloud, there's an entire area in the Quest site on there. So that's how we stay connected. As I said, it's not about the software. It's about the community and staying connected. And thank you for that. It makes my job fun and exciting, both to hear what customers need, to go develop it, and then to go tell them what we developed. It's a continuous cycle.
Thank you, AJ. And if more questions arise, we'll answer to those. I think what we will do is include in this as a giveaway a short presentation on the enterprise automation. So the last time we did the session with you, I think that will be really helpful. Right. Now, let me introduce you to Q. Salvador, who, what, Q?
Yep, this is Salvador. Thank you all of the JDE Edwards community for joining us. I will explain a little bit about this project. This idea born some months ago, 5 months ago. We realized that our customers and guests like this kind of projects because we start thinking about all the possibilities that they can do in their companies. And it's better like touching it, feeling it. In Denver, we presented a Lego boat with sensors, and we made some experiments there, and we connected to JDE Edwards. We use a temperature sensor, and we activate some orchestrations. In this occasion, we are using a robot that will help us to demonstrate all these integrations. But in this case, we will use the voice. We will transform the voice to text, and I explained that all the process in the other slides. Where we started, well, this robot is 3D printed. There are a lot of parts to print.
How many parts do you have altogether?
Oh, hundreds. This was designed by, this is important to mention, this was designed 10 years ago by Gaël Galgevin. It's a French sculptor, and the original name is InMove. And he open sourced it, so all the people can use it to show things, to experiment new ideas. So this is a modified version of that design. And well, the hardware is completely different. As 10 years ago, Gaël used Arduino. So 10 years later, we have a lot of different microprocessors and more powerful hardware. In this robot, we are using an NVIDIA Jetson Ori Nano that I have it here. It's as you can see, it's a little board, a little device, but it is really powerful as we can run their pre-trained models, and also we can run it locally. So we have a lot of opportunities to do with JDE Edwards with these kind of devices. For the movement of the robot, we are using 27 servo motors. This is the most difficult part, I guess, because all the gears needs to be aligned, and it's.
And how many people are helping you to put this all together, Salvador?
Only me and my dad on the weekend. Okay. My dad is
so you have a volunteer.
That is a family project.
Yeah. He's really excited about this idea because he's an electronic engineer. So he's helping me with the difficult parts with the electronics. So but Mario is participating also a lot in the integrations. So we are working together to integrate this robot to the orchestrations. So he's telling me how I need to send the JSON so he can activate those integrations. All the data that the robot needs to ask, all the things that we need to to have a proper integration.
Yeah, let's see exactly how this is enabled, right? In this workaround.
Well, in the background, well, as I mentioned, we use the Jetson Nano, that it has a microphone connected on it, and we are using Llama for the language model. So we are using it locally, so we can instruct Llama to ask the data that the orchestration needs, that the enough data that we need to create something with the orchestrations. We're using LangChain. This is something new, and it's a framework that let us connect AI devices with other applications. We can connect with JDE Edwards. We can activate some orchestration with JDE Edwards or other third-party system or application. And well, we have here at the end, when we have the enough data, the LangChain activates and sends the JSON chain to JDE Edwards. So this is how it works. As you see, it's not. We are using just a language model. So it is like the Qbot, like the
Qbot for JDE, the agent bot that.
It's like that. We are
Okay.
using Copilot with that, but it's like that.
It's
The only
something like
thing
that.
that happens is that in this exercise, we are transmitting a voice command to a robot that then connects into orchestrations via APIs. With the agents, we are transmitting the same order, the same type
Information.
of yes, in language, natural language, via a chat, whether it is via an OCI AI services chat or a Microsoft Copilot. It could be either or, but the result is the same in JDE actually. So it's the same action JDE Edwards is reacting to.
There is the same orchestrator already. We use the artificial intelligence to convert natural language into, let's say, JSON files or JSON information. That JSON that the orchestrator can use to do everything that we need to do inside of JDE Edwards. We always use orchestrator to do that. Then you can be secure your system, because anything goes from directly inside your database or something like that. You always create the orchestrator in order to get the information from JD and also to update or to create information inside JD. Always use orchestrator. Then, in this case, the robot, the Q, is like the agent. That is our agent in this example. Q asks for the people, or for the user, asks for the information that he needs in order to create the sales order, or another example that we can put inside the blueprint. But in order to create the sales order, they need to ask the information, and let's show the next slide. In that slide,
so let's try to make some magic. So basically, I'll try speaking with the robot, and I will whisper to the robot to help me order some bikes, some special bikes. So let's make some magic happen. Let's see how the flow actually works, and we start the flow with the robot. So, right, Salvador, I need to mention to Q what exactly I want to order. I want to order mountain bikes, touring bikes. I want it to be shipped in my Eastern distribution center. What exactly do I need to whisper to Q? You're on mute, Salvador.
Sorry. First, you need to activate. You just need to say hello Q, like other systems like this. And
so that's the best way to interact. Hello Q.
Hello Q. Okay. And Q will say, hi, good morning. How can I assist you? And then you can say, hi Q, I want to make a purchase order. So Whisper, we're using Whisper to transform the voice to text so it can understand. And when we want to create a purchase order, there is some data that we need. So the robot is in charge to get all that data. If if it's not if the robot couldn't get all the data, he will ask again.
He will ask me. So he will ask me, sorry, Andre, I didn't get, do you want 210 mountain bikes? Did I get that correctly? So the robot will question me back, right?
That's right. And also for confirmation, this is the product you are talking about, or that to confirm the data of the order. And then when we have all the data, uh, the line chain will
Mhm.
let us to send it to JD Edwards. That is the integration. When all the information that we have it's collected by the robot, it creates a JSON with line chain. So with this JSON, we can call orchestration with an API. And well, the orchestrator will create the sales order. And if you want to talk about Mario, because
Yeah. In order to create the order, I get an orchestrator inside in here. I get this orchestrator. In this orchestrator, I put some chains of information in order to get the business unit. Later of that, I guess I do this data request in order to get the information to the customer, because in the JSON is the customer number. But when I want to ask, I do the response, I put the customer information, the customer, let's say, description. With the another one, I create the order, and also I put, if I get the information or the sales order from a PDF, I put the PDF inside of the media object, and later at the end, I put I run the invoice report.
Oh, so I
And
also get an invoice. I just don't
yeah,
order a product. I immediately get an invoice.
yeah, with this example, you can do that.
Okay.
Then
What I want to see, sorry for interrupting you, Mario. I would like to
yeah,
see, because we are almost out of time and I don't see the robot. I want to see it, Salvador. I want to speak to Q. Where is Q?
I like the orchestrator part. That makes me cry.
Come on.
That's my favorite part.
yay,
I know
you're on my
that.
team, but we need to see Q. Hey, Q.
this
So,
is this
so
is the current state of the robot. As you can see, well, it's not completed now. It's completed. It was printed. We have all the parts printed, but I am adjusting the hand and the
okay.
arm. This is the tricky part that I talked you about. As it's plastic, it's something difficult to manage with mechanics. So it's for the blueprint, it will be ready.
So imagine that in only 3 weeks, that's the time you have left, this robot will have all parts integrated, interfaced with JD Edwards, and I will be able to, let's say, ask the robot to approve PO orders or to search a certain pink bike in a warehouse in Canada, maybe. I will be able to do that.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can create a sales order.
I can okay, I can instruct the robot. That's
Yeah,
my idea. So I want our participants in Blueprint, including AJ, to speak to the robot and tell the robot what to do.
yeah, you can do that. Let's say if you want it, I can do the bot version. You can ask me the whatever you needed, and I can respond to you
Okay,
with
I got
this
you.
time.
Yes, yes. So we will see it running in JD AdWords. We will see it running your sales order process, maybe. So creating an order and getting the response. AJ, do you think the customers will be interested to see such an approach, an automatized, let's say, language, voice language command that would lead to a sales order creation in JD?
Oh, absolutely. It's shows the art of the possible, and I think having something physical there to interact with, probably, mostly they will use the language models in a chat bot or whatever, but having the physical robot there will be very interesting and help people connect the dots between intelligence and what's happening in their JD Edwards system. Yeah, I think it would be even better if Q robot had long blonde hair.
Oh,
Can you do that? Yeah.
okay. What if the robot will be able to drive Salvador from Mexico to Las Vegas, right?
That would be fantastic. Yeah, a work order that says transport Mario to
Yeah,
Las Vegas.
that is transport Salvador. Salvador is
Salvador will be on.
taking the
Salvador
bot.
is taking the robot.
Salvador's coming. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Salvador trained the bot to learn to drive, and you can rest in the way to Las Vegas.
Actually, those models are free. The thing is the mechanic part, but the AI, it's we have a lot of new products, a lot of people developing new tools. Some are free, so it's at some point it's possible, but not the mechanics.
Not the mechanics itself. Yes, we don't get a chance to look at JD Edwards and how a sales order is created in JD Edwards, but that's like the end goal, the simple end goal we will have obtained. I would like to thank you for this wonderful discussion, guys, and I'm looking forward to transmitting live from Blueprint what the robot can do, to see you, Anthony, on the stage, to get customers interact with you and discover how to drive more automation, how to use the process modeler, and then we'll use the widget. We have to, so we become the next bomb. But I'm super impressed with what JD can do and what we can innovate. So more ideas to come from the JD Edwards community. I'd like to thank you again, and after Blueprint, we will meet again on June 23rd. So it will be the last edition before we break for holiday, and after we break for holiday in September, more ideas to come. On June 23rd, so that Monday, we will speak about two very delicate areas. Do I have enough licenses for JD Edwards? Are my users using rightfully the product, the licenses that we own? So security, conformity, those are areas that are sensitive, but as well can give you a more perspective of how exactly you should be using the JD Edwards licenses you own. So we will work with Oracle again on what types of licenses and how Oracle sees the licensing perspective of JD Edwards. And from our side, we will give you some insight on segregation of duties, on how your users should be enabled to correctly access the right set of applications. So it doesn't seem that interesting like the robot, but I know that it resolves a lot of problems. Thank you again, and have a great afternoon ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.